This is obviously the last day of the last working day of the week, basically. We're so happy to be in your faces again, and we're saying welcome, welcome, welcome to another segment of Gospel Life News. A lot is happening. Burna Boy is giving us responses back to back. Ravi, people are giving us Davido saying you made a mistake regarding Moravi. All of these, I'll bring them to you in a bit. In the meantime, I want to say a big thank you to all our fans out there for doing what you do. We love you. We appreciate you. And you know what I will say next now. We don't take you guys for granted. Anyways, just so you know, made major updates for you guys. If you've been following us for like back to back, you already know the updates. But to our new subscribers, you can now stream us live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time. All you have to do is look out for that channel that's most convenient for you and stream us in that space. Anyways, let's see what the news look like. Once again, welcome to Gospel Life News. We'll begin with Burna Boy. We saw yesterday Burna Boy was outside in London. So it just paints a picture that this guy is everywhere. So apparently he was in Nigeria. Okay, from the UK, he came to Nigeria at the point about some days ago. Had good moments in the country, and then he had to go back to the UK where he had rehearsals. And today we are so sure that he would be in the US because his show begin in the US today for the tour rather. Biggest in the US. So in space of like a week, Burna Boy has been to 3 countries, and that's what stars do basically. You just have to go everywhere to do what you have to do. And I saw him in London yesterday performing and singing to his fans, most likely maybe a free show or something, or out of goodwill, but then it was not one that was announced and paid for. It was just one. He just went there and had an amazing time with all the fans who were around to witness that one. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy tested, approved and trusted, reaches a new peak of #1 on the Madagascar Apple Music top song. The song has now reached #1 on Apple Music in about 26 countries. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy coming through with another quote where he said, "A big bone to a little dog is a little bone to a big dog." By the way, I see you all fully understand my accent and language in my music now. So basically, think about it. If you give a big bone to a little dog, it's big to the little dog, but then to a big dog, that is a small bone. So what's the dog trying to say? Who is he talking to? What does it mean? Why is he making all these shades? Like, is it to somebody? Is it to, I don't know, but then it just makes people ask questions saying, who is ODG referring to with his recent shenanigans on Instagram lately? Moving on, we saw Burna Boy City Boy finally have just surpassed 20 million views on YouTube, and at the same time, City Boy enters the top 10 on Estonia iTunes top song at #9. Now, for these countries countries like this, Estonia, Kyrgyzstan, and all of that, if you're a FIFA lover or you play PS, now for PS2, play PS2 properly, and you play Konami at the time, you understand what this Estonia, Malta, Parma. These are countries then that when you play game and then you have Konami scores and you have put like with Spain, you are sure of 9-0, 10-0 with computer scores. But for now, we are seeing Afrobeats making us know this country aside PlayStation 2. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy alone have just surpassed 2 million Shazams, and it is the second most Shazam song on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie soundtrack. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy returns to #1 position on the Spotify Daily Top Artists in the country, Nigeria. There's a picture that is familiar at the point because we all know Burna Boy as Spec, and there are ladies you see and you can tell, okay, Burna Boy will ask you out. Now, there's some ladies you see and you're like, nah, Burna Boy will never ask you out. So I saw, or it has been rumored that Burna Boy reportedly flies down Kenya socialite known as Vera Sidika to spend time with him in Lagos. Are they dating or not? It is not clear. But then the report added that allegedly he flew down to the country to have good time. With a good time could be relatives, or whatever it means to you. It might not mean that to me, but whatever it is, we saw where she was brought into his apartment, accompanied with some guys. Burna Boy aspect, like I said, and this definitely fits into Burna Boy kind of lady. Moving on, we have Davido as the next guy on the news. We saw Risky have just surpassed 1 million Shazam, and that's an amazing one coming from Davido. Also, yesterday we saw Ravi coming through with a project called Ravi, and a lot of persons love the EP, about 5-track EP, which featured Davido on one at the time, which he called Magician, and that was an amazing track. But at the time it was released, Ravi did not have a portfolio basically. on major DSP, Spotify, Apple Music. It was just missing in transit, and it was a lot of people called Davido out saying, "Why you do this kind of thing? Why is your management poor? Why is this? Why is that? Why is this?" And in the midst of all of that, it looked as though they had to create one or something. So it was like there were two platforms for her at the time, and which was not syncing properly with audience. But apparently, as of today, it has been rectified on Spotify. She now has about 4,000 plus monthly listeners at the moment, and I think that's a good start. Basically, let's see what 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months would look like. But basically, Davido was dragged, and the management were dragged yesterday for not allowing the young lady have a profile on major DSPs. Moving on, as far back in China, for the QQ Music Western Hot 100, Chris Brown's Sensational with Loja and Davido appeared on the charts at number 64, and that is his second week running. Davido, Unavailable Musa Keys, entered the top 50 of the US rhythmic radio media base building chart today at number 48. It went up about 56.9, that's about almost 60% up the chart. An amazing one. And the song sits, like I said, on number 48. Moving on, we have Shallipopi, who has been disturbing us everywhere from Sandalili, and then he has told us that if you disturb him any further, he's going to use more rhythmic lines to create more songs, and they will chart. This is the confidence for us. He has announced to us that his album is coming. Maybe another album is coming. Like according to him, he said, "Album coming, my kids." And you know the way this thing works is, now this is a reaction that will spark a lot of comments, and at the same time to make him trend. So it's a win-win for him, because who are you calling your kids? Who are your kids? Some of these guys are way advanced. You just came in some months ago, and then you are already in the game of my kids, which is a good PR for him. But at the same time, it's going to spoil our reactions, and reactions will make this guy trend. And obviously, relatively, all the old bounce back falls on his music, and then he makes more money. Strategic, right? But then good one for him, and then we're expecting that in the coming days, he might just drop another album on us. Moving on, we have Victon as the last guy on the news. We saw Victon after a turbulent 1 year back and forth, from surgery to another surgery, and from accident at the point where he had an accident after getting the major attention of people, and which had to put him on wheelchairs for a while. At the point he stood up, but then he had to go back again for surgeries, all of that. And in midst of all of this, he came out grateful, and then he thought it wise that, okay, I and Ashakain could just do something big together. What has he done? He actually went out to the streets of Lagos to distribute wheelchairs for people who need them. Now, basically, a lot of persons are on the streets, struggling to walk, sitting down, using this small paddle thingy to just walk around. And, it's so limited. You can't walk at the speed you want to go. You can't do as much as you want to do. You can't lift up as you want to lift up and all of that. But then Victon has made something possible for them that they can now do it more advancedly, faster, and more functioning properly. He has gifted them wheelchairs for some person, crutches, just so they can enable movement properly. And that is very thoughtful coming from Victon. At the same time, his generosity is doing well, and trust me, his music is also doing well. That is what you call a successful, not to some extent, right? That is relative. But for me, I want to say that is a successful person, giving back and obviously doing good at your craft. For me, that is who I want to call a successful person. In the meantime, we've come to the end of this one, and trust me, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. Take care of yourself.